webinar series. You can simply type CIT webinar, you will be getting this web page. We have already covered more than 400 tools that can be used for multiple purpose of school education and for the colleges also. There are some tools which are you will have in this, particularly the sessions like this. You will have the video and the presentation. And all these presentations are free for you to use it for your training also. So if anywhere you are expected to take any session, you can always take this and modify according to your need and take the session. We have also done the complete tool English session in Hindi also. Because in this 5 days, we will just throw like this. Within 5 days, one tool, just 10 minutes, 15 minutes exposure you will get. Morning, sir was asking like, no, is there any tool for video creation? We have done more than 15 tools for video creation alone. For editing, only for visuals you take and edit, we have a tool. If you wanted to have an audio editing, we have a tool. If you want a green, in our studio we have a green screen, and a green screen we remove and add backgrounds. If you want tool like that, we have sessions on this. So this is one resource page which we have kept it open for everyone, which is available. And there are sessions dedicated for subjects also. Various tools which is for only for teaching of English, tools for teaching of mathematics, like that also sessions have been done. Okay, so this is a page where you can refer for all the tools. Other than here we cannot in 5 days, all things cannot be introduced. So we are only going to give you a glimpse of the things. But animation now we will be doing only one tool today. But here we have more than 10 another softwares, because animation also variety is there. So this is one page which you can always refer for your self-learning purpose. Okay. And other than this, every month, first and second week is for 5 hours, is a dedicated 5 hours training on cyber safety and security. Third and fourth week is NEP related to ET is done. So it is done with collaboration. So you can join. This is not restricted. Though a 4 to 5 is live, you don't need to come. So you can simply say like CIT training. You will get workshops and training. In this page, you can get like which programs are going on. Right? Today there was one program which was there, AI for teachers. There is a 5 days program going on in live for AI for teachers. And now this is like a standard program. This is an additional program. But you can see here, this academic year, already so many programs are there. Like for example, digital wellness, we have done in collaboration with psychology department. We have done one program for the inclusive education. We have done in collaboration with the special needs department. This next week onwards, we are having a media literacy program. It's not always our department. We are doing with IIMC. Sometimes it is with Ministry of IT. So this is all the programs. Till March it is open. So whenever you get time, 5 videos you need to watch. You have to just take the test and you will get a certificate if you pass the test. This RIET faculty can please pass on this information. Every month we are sending a circular to principals, but I don't know whether it reaches. But at least you can tell, and faculty of NIE who is conducting trainings, these things can be told, because we cannot conduct so many trainings for teachers. So we are doing and making everything available. So all these are run as a nano course. So it's a live program, it runs as a nano course, so that they get like an online 5 hours course certificate, which is considered for their CPD as well. Okay, so these are the two things which are available, which you can take it. So now let's move on for the today's session. We missed the session yesterday. We had a session on open educational resource yesterday, so we will start with this particular session today. So we are making little arrangements so that we'll finish all the modules. So open educational resource. How many of you are aware of this? One. To some extent, we are all aware of it. We have heard this word. Okay. So I'm going to only highlight few things which is very essential, not into so much of theoretical to understand everything, but which is very essential, which NCERT we are lacking. We develop so much of content, we release lot of content. We do training, we prepare material, we prepare presentation, we give it to others without putting any credit or license on that. Every training program, when we prepare a presentation, we give it to others. But we don't write any license or any declaration in our presentation which can make the other person to get into legal aspects. So why it is important for us being NCRT faculty to understand this? One of our live session was happening on foundational literacy and numeracy. The session got over at 5 p.m. 5:1, our video was blocked and there was a intimation to us there is a legal case filed on NCRT because in this live video there is a copyrighted content. So one of the leading university of India has put immediately a legal statement on NCRT saying that in this presentation there is a live video, a video part which is copyrighted. So already case sheet kind of has come, we have to respond to that, otherwise it will be taken to court. So immediately we need to respond for that. So when we analyzed, we didn't see that anything, it is because the presentation was prepared by us. So what could be there as a copyrighted content? When we get in, particularly in YouTube, when we get very specifically from which minute to which seconds. Also it will be mentioned. So they have mentioned that in this second to this second, the video used is copyrighted. So we just analyze the video. That video has been claimed by that university saying that the chairperson of that university, as VC of that university, has given a speech on foundational literacy and numeracy, and this video was part of that. So they have claimed NCRT is taking their VC's video and using it in our video. That was their claim. So when we analyzed, when they gave it, we analyzed, we found that the person who presented has shown a glimpse of a video from our launch video. NCRT creates launch video for every program which is launched by minister. And when we prepare it, we ensure that no old photos are used. There is a loss of restriction. So we were sure that this is from our launch video. So since it was on YouTube and that year the launch happened in live because of pandemic. During pandemic, minister didn't release everything in face to face. So all launches of ours happened only in the online. FLN was launched during little after pandemic. So that launch happened in online. So the launch video was available in video in the YouTube. So because of that record, it had a very clear record that elementary education department's foundational literacy and numeracy launch video has been released by minister on so and so date. But the date which was claimed by that particular university was far after our date. Actually, what they have done is they have taken NCRT's video and added to VC's speech and they made it as copyright. And they were giving a legal notice to NCRT saying that you are copyrighted. But since the track was with us, so we immediately said that we know the institute very well. They are collaborators with us. They have an MOU with us. We called and said, will you remove it or should we put a case on you? Then they immediately removed it. Similarly, in 2019, we started this webinar series. The time pandemic started, we started this webinar series. Just fifth day of our webinar series, one program we have done. He is a person from another university who has presented the session. When somebody presents, we don't go and see every single thing, right? When we prepare PowerPoint, we put small images, like a border image kind of things and all. He took the session in our YouTube, through YouTube in 2019. 2022, we got a legal notice from South Africa saying that the image used in that one small image, I have to zoom in to see that image. That small micro image is used it in PowerPoint just as an add-on. The way like this small thing is you are able to see. Like this one small image is here, right? One white small box is there. Only this size of image was there in his presentation on the corner part of it. He is not NCRT person, but he is taking the session for NCRT through NCRT YouTube channel. So the from South Africa, one of the publisher has raised the legal notice through their court, and they have claimed that the image which is put is part of their textbook. This person has, when we Google it for images, whatever comes when we do, we see it's free, copy and use it in that. Same way this person has taken an image from Google, just search for free images, took it and pasted in presentation, but that has raised an issue again. So they have given us within 5 days this should be done. Otherwise we have to pay in huge amount, which NCERT cannot even pay. That's a kind of fine we have to pay, because there many countries have now very strict rules on copyright and the product. So we have to, within 2 days, then we got the complete video removed from YouTube. Then we have to apologize to them, writing a proper letter through the authority here saying that it was unnoticed, it was by ignorance. All this we have to write. But you can think of being a national institute, going and asking apology to another person saying we are ignorant of this, being a country's leading organization, we have to have a sorry face cut there, right? There are many issues. These are two examples I'm quoting here, because sometimes if we go unnoticed, there is a way we need to face now legal consequences as well. So it's very important for us to understand the licenses so that we don't make such mistakes when we are doing, and even since we are more working in collaboration, when others submit anything to us, also we need to check it out. Many NIE faculty and RIE faculty are coordinators of SWAYAM courses. 2017 onwards, SWAYAM courses are running. When I took over it into 2022, I was reviewing the courses which is running from 2017. The course coordinator is our own faculty. 2022, when I opened the course, the course material completely has a copyright symbol of a corporate company. Since we are not aware, we have not checked it, we have approved it, and you just think of, if that corporate company thinks of putting a small case on it, that faculty will get affected. The faculty may not have seen that also. So that's where we are having this session, that we should know about open educational resources and copyright to go forward. So what we are going to discuss, so very few points. What is OER? Why OER? What are the licenses? And how to identify OER. So I'm going to give only a glimpse today, but by evening I'll be sharing you. We have done 5 hours course on this with Commonwealth of Learning. So we will give you the link. That course is still open. We request you whenever you get time to join that and learn little more about it. It's not because of the certificate, because that 5 hour certificate may not have great impact on your API or anything, but it has been collaborated with the proper agency, like Commonwealth of Learning works on OER. They are the ones who prepare the OER policy. So we have done a course with them, so you can just go through that also. Okay. So these are the things which we are going to now go through. And we also need to know how to identify OER, because now next session onwards you're going to create content. So when you create content, you may take an image, you may take a voice, you may take a video or audio. It is important to know how to identify OER that can be used as part of your content development. Okay. So why I have already given lot of examples from the practical perspective, but to just understand from the technical perspective, if any material is copyrighted, that has a legal consequence when you wanted to use it. If it is copyrighted, we need to purchase that material or we need to use that. It so happened, like I think I'm not able to recall the exact year. In RIE Mysore, we have students lab, right? 3 labs are there in RIE Mysore. So we came to know one day night around 7-8 p.m. we came, when Piley sir was the ICT in charge. I was there also working for some project. So at that time we came to know at 7-8 p.m. that Microsoft is going to every institute to find out how many Microsoft cracked versions are being used. If today Microsoft comes to NCERT, we can identify 90% of our softwares in the systems are cracked versions. We will be taken to legal consequence. 7 to 8 p.m. we came to know that they have gone to many institute in Mysore and a legal notice has been given. Overnight, RI Mysore removed all the Microsoft cracked version and on that day we installed Ubuntu in all the systems. So today, if we are breaking the copyright, we need to face the legal consequence compulsory. So that is one important thing that we need to know about the free and open source software and OER as well. When we say copyright, what does copyright mean? Is something belongs to somebody else which is legally registered in their name. How do we identify whether it is copyrighted? It will have the word copyright or it will have a word C inside a circle. These two are the things. If something is not written anything, for example, if I share this presentation, many times we share our presentation. We don't write anything. We don't write copyrighted or we don't write that this is a OER. So where does it fall? If nothing is written. Free source, okay. It becomes copyrighted. If we don't write anything, it is to be considered as copyrighted. So we are thinking and giving presentation, all of you use it, but we don't write anything. So it is wrongly we are sharing that. So whenever it is not written any license, also it is considered as copyright. Nobody can legally claim it when they have not written it, but we are not supposed to use it as free also. It is in between. So we are not supposed to use any material which is not given a proper open educational resource license. If it is not written anything, we should avoid such material. In 10 years back, if you go to all the NCRT videos, there are lots of graphics, children's faces, which have been used by production team, which are all freely available on Google, which is not written that it is copyrighted, which is not written that this belongs to this. But we have used all that and prepared lots of videos. But today also there can be case on that. So whenever we are taking any resources, if it is not written any license or if there is no copyright image or copyright declaration, we should consider it as copyright. Okay. So that's a consequence of copyright is we need to face the legal consequences. There are n number of examples with teachers done without awareness, done because of ignorance, but they have to face the court. One primary teacher in uh, Karnataka has to face fine from Disneyland $3 million. He has got a legal notice from them for paying $3 million. He was counting $3 million means how many zero will be there. That's a situation. But he didn't do anything. He just took a Disney picture and he made it as a cover page for his activity book that was freely available in Google. So he took it. He made a physical activity book. He just took for himself no written, handwritten activity book with Disney cover page and he pinned, staplered it and gave to student. But it kept on, but he wrote his address, his name, school address because he prepared it, no? So he wrote it at the back side, his name, school address, phone number, mail ID, everything. This got shared and now people will share anything and everything. So people scanned and put it on the web and he got caught. Because he used the official logo of Disney on his cover page. $3 million. He's still fighting the court. He couldn't come out of that. So there are legal consequences which we cannot imagine. So it is very much need of the hour for us to understand what is this. So why it is required to understand OER? One is we first of all don't have OERs available. Today if you want to go and search content as a OER, it's very difficult to find content that is under open educational resource. So that is a need that NCRT is creating content for the whole country on public money. It has a policy decision that we will release all content as OER. So it is a resource scarcity is there. So we need to prepare resource to make resource available to enable access, which is one core aspect of NEP. The second is we also need to provide materials. Like there are materials available which are available only in simple things. We don't have interactive resource. We don't have good videos which are available over here. Some images may be available. We were searching when we were preparing a social science content. We were searching for a OER is of Qutub Minar. We want one image of Qutub Minar which is OER content. Shame on us, we are staying near to Qutub Minar. We don't have single photo with us. And next time when we went for an education trip, we took a photographer and told take photo and now release it as OER. So many things we do have, but it is not released under the OER. So that is where we are not able to provide access. What is our textbooks? There are textbook has images. All our textbook has images. Have we allowed teachers to use our images? What is the license given in our textbooks? Physical textbooks. Our physical textbooks are all copyrighted. So you are not supposed to even click a picture of that image and use it, including us in our presentation. We are not supposed to use. How many times we take the image from our textbooks and put it into our presentation? Second, digital copy. We have all the digital textbooks in Diksha platform, which is the OER platform. But the license which is written is very clearly written. It is not copyrighted, but we have lot of restrictions applied. Even the image in NCERT textbooks are not supposed to be taken by anybody. So that is where we are restricting the access. We tell in NEP that we need to provide access, then we restrict by putting certain things. So should we keep everything open? Anyone want to use, do anything? Then our textbooks will not have any sequence. People will make into parts. 10 chapters are there, it will become 10 books and it will be in market. Right? So there is a need that we need to give free access. Certain things which need a restriction also need to be defined. This is the level you have to use it. So that is where it is required for us. If you wanted to give access, we give something of our house, like if somebody is coming to stay in our house, we will tell, okay, come and stay in our house. We'll give it some restriction, right? Will we say like, okay, you can open any locker, you can take anything, you want jewel, you take and go. Do we do that? Though we invite guests to our house, we have certain restricted areas. So similarly, when we wanted to really provide access to provide equality or equity, but we want really to have a wisdom in giving the rights to them. What can be done, what should not be done. We will come to that in detail. We'll come to that in detail. Okay. In general, the point is like we need OER content to be made available because we need to provide access so that people can use that inner thing. Second is also OER. We can see that today e-content is costly. So many companies have come. Some of the Mysore teachers are there. 2008, we had a project with RIE Mysore with NIIT. NIIT was the leading K-12 company and the only one company who had e-content to be developed and sold. You won't believe the cost. I worked in that company. I was working with RIE at that time. We created all the Max Lab activity with our DMS teachers and the company sold it for 20 lakhs, one single lab to one single school for 1 year. 5-year project. Who prepared the content? DMS teachers of Mysore. It was sold in Africa alone. We have sold more than 40,000 labs. So that's how it is expensive. Today also you can see in CIT there will be every day 5 companies coming here to get feedback because they don't know pedagogy. They have technology with them. They don't know content. They don't know pedagogy. They hire people who are hired again teachers. When they prepare and come, now we have an option that we can purchase content from them. It's so expensive. 1 minute to create 1 minute animation video, we have to give money in lakhs. So that is where if OER is created, it can reduce the cost. The schools need not invest on this. And also it will, copyright usually prevents adaptation. So the thing is like when we copyright our textbook, we give copyright freedom to only states to modify our textbook. We have a signing of copyright which we are selling to the states, or we are giving to the states for modifying particular percentage of content. Whole book they cannot rewrite it. NCERT book, when they wanted to use it in the state, we have a copyright document which we sign and say that the state can now modify up to this percentage, and then you can use it as NCERT book. Every state is using NCERT book, but they have adapted the book. They are just modifying it. Some examples are changed and they are using. 22 states are using it. But 22 states are not using as it is the book. Very few states are using as it is. Some of them are adopting by changing. But for that, NCERT has given a copyright clearance to them. Legally, we are giving a clearance. So copyright restricts that, but OER allows adaptation. So and adaptation also, that is why OER is needed. And also like long waiting time is, we are waiting, like if I want a video, I need to wait for somebody to develop. Now new textbooks have come. When did class 1 to 5 textbooks came? 1 year back. But still we are waiting for content. Still our box is empty. Because we are dependent on one team to develop the content which cannot develop. So if there are more OERs developed, it can reduce the time, waiting time to provide the resource. That is why we need the OER. So let's move to understand like what is copyright, what is open educational resource, and why we need to consider this. So when we see open educational resource, it has certain open licenses applied on it. What do we mean by license? Generally, which gives you some permissions, authorization or permission. Similarly, all the content of NCERT, all the content what we are creating, it can be digital, it can be physical, needs a license to decide that what is the authority we are giving or what permissions we are giving. So in that we are having two licenses. One we said like it's a complete copyrighted, which means that we are not giving any permission. Completely no permission. Okay. The second is we can also apply certain license which is called as open license, which has certain set of conditions to that. Maybe I have created it or I have already modified it, but we can give certain license to it. So that is what open license. So what does this open educational resource word means? It is basically teaching, learning and resource. Because it's an educational word is there, it refers to resources. Open resources can be anything. But when we call it as open educational resources, it very much focuses on resources that can be used for teaching, learning and for research or assessment in any medium. It can be, some misconception is people think OER means it's only digital content. Even your handwritten content can be released as OER. Okay, so it can be digital as well as any content. It can be printed, it can be a script, it can be handwritten, anything can be the material that resides in a particular public domain. It should be accessible to people basically. Many times we write hand notes, but it is with me. It is not available for anybody to receive it. So keep writing and keeping with me is already copyrighted. I'm not making it available. So the another condition is if it is an open educational resource, it should be made available for public to access. It should be in a particular place. It can be in websites, it can be in our own blogs, it can be in portals, it can be in libraries. Wherever it is, it should be accessible to public. And also it should be released under a particular license. Copyright, we need to go and register in government. Right, like the way patent is registered. Similarly, any material you wanted to copyright, you have to legally register in government and get a legal document. But for open educational resources, there is no company who will declare that it is open. It is all about what I wanted to release. So I have to write it. Like if I want to write this presentation as open, I have to simply write this presentation is released under this. That's all. So it is basically, it is released with a license, not approved by some authority. Okay, and it should permit no cost access. What are the features it should up? It should give no cost access, and it also should allow reuse. It should allow adaptation and redistribution. Okay, these are some of the features. So this is a standard definition of OER, but these are the key words which we need to remember. Number one, it is an educational resource, right? It can be second, it can be in any form. Third, it should be available in a public domain for access. Fourth, it should be released with some license, right? These are the five major features of OER. So what all can be a OER? Many times we think only audio video is a OER or some digital resource is a OER. Open access is also OER. Do we have any portal where we get open access data? Open access. UDICE. UDICE allows you for open access, right? You can go and easily access the data to only view. There are certain data which are made only with open access. There are books which are open access. Open access journals, we must have come across. That allowed you to go through the complete article for free. You can just access it. So there are many resources which are only providing open access. You cannot take that content, modify, redistribute, but you can freely, without paying money, you can access it. So some resources are open access content is also under OER. Open data. UDICE has data, but it is not open. Why it is not open? You cannot take the data and modify and republish. You are not allowed. If you want to say that UP has 500 schools they have written, I want to change the data and say no, UP has 200 schools, I am not allowed to do that. But there are many data which are made for open data. Open data means you can do anything with that data. There is no restriction on you. Most of the public are temperature data, are weather data, or weather, the climate and all this. They have lots of data which they provide. This is all available for open data. You can pull that data and make interpretations out of it. You are allowed to make that. Right? So there is lot of thing. It's not just open access. The data is also available freely. For example, now Nishta. We did Nishta program. We have people's data with us. Who did the course, who has joined, all that. But NCRT has only given open access to the total number of people enrolled, total number of people joined, completed the course, like that. The data is provided in VSK in the data center, and we have given open access. But we have not given open data. So some researcher comes and says, give me the Nishta data, I want to do research. We don't have open data. Most of we have a data policy in NCRT. ESD has created the data policy. So that is the data policy which helps us to understand what data of NCRT can be shared, not shared. Many times we all take PSC research projects. So sometime without awareness, because it is funded by NCRT, none of our data can be released by us as open data without the permission of the authority. So open data can also be OER only if it is released as OER. Next is free and open source softwares are also OER. Now Microsoft is a proprietary software. We have to purchase. Most of the time we don't purchase, we use a cracked version. That is like a theft. So now instead of Microsoft, if we use LibreOffice, that is a complete open source. Open source means it is not just free. You can change the code in that software. Backend my code will be there, no? So you can also change the soft code. So when we call a software as free and open sources, not just it is available free, don't need to pay for it, but it also allows you to change the source code. For example, if my screen is like this, my start button is at this right left side. Microsoft doesn't allow you to change this like it is in English. So I don't want in English, I want in my tribal language, I want to change it. It doesn't allow you. But open source software allows you to modify anything using the code, using the scripts which are used backend. So that is all called as open and free and open source. Free stands for free access, no payment. Open stands for the openness in the code to modify. So at Taj Hotel, if we go and ask, give the recipe of your coffee, will they give us? Nobody will give because it's copyrighted with it. They will not share. But if you ask me like, your coffee was tasting good, give me the recipe. I'm sorry. Give me the recipe. I can tell my recipe. You may go and say she put sugar rather than sugar. I'll put palm sugar. You can modify. So in that case, I'm just giving you option to modify anything, even if it is a base thing. Instead of making coffee with coffee powder, you can make coffee with some other ingredient also, right? So that is how what it means as open. Okay. The next is open courses. Courses can also be OER. Okay. So then there are lots of courses. Our Nishtha course is released as open course. We have released it under with a particular license, but we have given some restriction. If we leave it with like that, just like that, what will happen when we started Nishtha? We got calls from Australia. They used to call and say, because my name and number was there as a coordinator, technical coordinator, I used to get called through director, our JD office. They used to ask two things. One is, since your content is freely available on open, so they didn't see the license exactly. They said, can we reuse it? They are companies. They wanted to just take that content and use it for their paid version of teacher training. So we said, like, please see to the license of NCRT. We have not restricted for you to use it for any purpose. The second thing is, because your name is given as coordinator, will you become consultant? We can pay you so much. We cannot, because this is an open resource of NCRT, no connection. Since open resource has been announced, even though module is written by me, I coordinate, nowhere I am there in that. It becomes already an NCRT property. So many times we prepare a lot of materials as handbooks and all that. Though we may be a coordinator for that content development, if it is released already under an open license from NCRT, we cannot claim that this belongs to me. So we need to be very clear about when we are releasing our material. Many NCRT material developed under the PSC program is just a document within ourselves. It is not released as open educational resource and not available in public. So if any resource is there, we can still pull it out. We can now put a license and release so that others can benefit out of it. Last is crowdsourcing platforms. When we say crowdsourcing platforms, now like one of the crowdsourcing platform is our own Diksha. Diksha content is not just only NCRTs, not only states. Though Diksha has every state in it, everyone has their right to upload their content. But now we are giving, like Shiksha Lokam is there. They are one company who's contributing a content. Amrita Vidyalaya contributing the content. Basically, what we are saying, we are collecting. Sourcing means we are collecting everything from the crowd. So now, because NCRT alone cannot prepare resource, only RIE cannot prepare resource, we have made a platform, Diksha, which is a crowdsourcing platform from where we are collecting all the content. So that kind of platforms can also be a OER. So OER is not always only a digital resource. It can, all this can be also a can be part of OER. Okay. So this is one main part. So I'm just going to give you some homework for you for today, which I will continue discussion of this for tomorrow. Okay. So we have understood what is OER and why is OER. So we will try to understand various licenses. So your homework is like, you have your own mobile, you can search and find out what are the various licenses. But you need to find one example for each license from NCRT's material. For each license, you need to find one resource from NCRTs. If, for example, if CC BY is a license, which material of NCRT is released under CC BY? You can discuss, you can find out, we'll see how much we are able to find out. Okay. So are we clear with these 2 points? What is OER and why OER? Till now? Right. So with this we are stopping because it's a very theoretical content. If I continuously take, it's boring. So we'll just take in small bits only. So today we have understood this. Now we will try to find out examples from NCRT and then we will learn about licenses tomorrow. Okay? Yeah. Correct. No, it will be on the laptop because of the video, no? We can invite Dr. Pranita Gopal. She is assistant professor in media production division in CIT. So she is also the in charge of the graphics department here. And